It is interesting to think about Kyle Shanahan and self-reflection, if you will. What he did at the end of the half on Sunday, you could call obvious, right? You're at the 1 yard line, you're at the half yard line. Are you honestly going to kick a field goal from a half yard away when the Philadelphia Eagles, once they get to the 1 yard line, the drive is over? I think we should save time and actually stop doing this. Just touchdown. You get to the 1 yard line, touchdown. Eagles are in. You can't stop that thing. Why can't everybody do that?
Just change the rule.
Well, you could do that too. But the point is wouldn't you? This is maybe be the only thing I would say in talking about Kyle Shanahan and sort of what you'd like to see him do maybe differently as a coach. Y'all know I'm a very, very big fan of this coach. I am thankful that he is the coach of the San Francisco 49ers. But maybe get a little Bochy in him. And I know that Bochy doesn't love this characterization, but if Peter King's going to say you're anal or a control freak or formulaic, could we say I'd love to see a guy who's lived a football life like Kyle Shanahan, dude, just go with your gut.
And stuff.
You want to go for it on fourth down.
And stuff.
Go for it. It's okay.
Right.
You're not on the hot seat. If it doesn't go well once or twice, it's okay. You're not getting fired.
Well, I liked the reason why he made that call, which was it was kind of a little bit of a backhanded slap at his own defense because he said they'd been scoring touchdowns.
Yeah.
And I felt like we needed a touchdown to keep pace. So if that same situation pops up and the Niners are ahead, I don't know, 21 to 10, maybe he kicks the field goal.
I don't know. I mean, yeah.
Or 23 to 10 or whatever makes it a 3-score
Sure.
game, whatever the situation
Time and
is.
place for everything. Yeah,
Yes.
Sure.
Down 7 in that spot, knowing that the Rams get the ball to start the second half, I think that led those two factors. You're trailing by 7 and your defense hasn't really stopped them much. And you're at the 1 yard line, the half yard line, whatever. Now, if it was at the 3 or the 4 yard line, does he make the same call? It becomes more interesting.
Maybe not, and I don't know that I would support going for it from the 3 or 4 yard line. I guess maybe I've reached a point, and I'm not going to say there are no exceptions because if you're up by 10 with 2 minutes to go and you've got 4th and inches, I'm not saying you should go for it no matter what. But I am sort of at this point. You need a half yard? Dude, it's 2023. Go for it. You have the best everything at every position. And maybe that's what I'm talking about. We're also talking about this particular Niners team.
Sure.
I'm not saying, Kyle, you got to just let it rip and go for it all the time no matter what your team is. But look at who you've got. You now got your quarterback to go with your running back and your tight end and your left tackle and your receiving core and your dude, go for it. You've got the best players almost every time. There are games, and yes, the other team's an NFL team, and Aaron Donald is lined up over there. I understand all that. But from a mano-a-mano standpoint, like the Niner player and his counterpart on the other side, there's a degree of this. I'm not going to say it's Alabama versus Abilene Christian, but it is USC versus Arizona. Like, you have the better player at every position almost.
Right.
So take advantage of that. Loosen it up a little bit. Let it rip, man, because, dude, your team is awesome. Like, the Chiefs don't hesitate because they're like, we got Mahomes. And to their detriment sometimes.
Right.
I know you argued AFC title game 2 years ago, they lost because they got arrogant at the goal line right before half. I agree with you. It can bite you, but it usually won't. And I'd love to see them exercise that muscle a little bit more.
Yeah, and I think this is a spot where it lined up to where if he didn't go for it, if they settled for a Jake Moody 3, he would be open to a lot more criticism than if they went for it and they didn't get it and they got no points. I think that, to me anyway, with the next-gen stats and the new analytics, it was pointing you in the direction of go for it from the 1 or the half-yard line.
That's true. That's fair.
Much more. Now, like we said, if it gets back to the 3, if it's 4th and goal from the 3, well, now the sneak is not really in play. Now you're looking at You're going to hand it off and try to get 3 yards? Are you going to throw it? It becomes much more of a 50-50 prop, I think, from the 3-yard line in a one-play scenario with 1 second left.
Early drive in Pittsburgh, 4th and 2, field goal, long, extended. Jake Moody's first game, go for it. Boom, touchdown. You know what I mean? Not on that play, but
right.
like extended the drive, touchdown. That's along the lines of what I'm talking about. Also, you're definitely right about this one. It wasn't that gutsy. You only needed a few inches.
Right. One of 9 teams to be perfect on 4th down this year.
So far this year.
The Niners, 100%.
Pair of tickets to see Adam Sandler, SAP Center, every day this week, courtesy of Live Nation, and your chance today is coming up in less than 10 minutes. Less than 10 minutes. Stay right where you are if you want to go to the Adam Sandler Show, SAP Center, courtesy Live Nation. Your chance to win today is coming up in less than 10 minutes. This is the comment that we're talking about. Yesterday's conference call, and Kyle was asked how in the offseason he tries to get better.
See what to add, see what fits in. Spend a lot of the offseason trying to study personnel to add in the draft or personnel to add in free agency. Those are the biggest parts, as a coach that you try to do to make your team better, is to try to help out and see who you can add to it to make it better. Sometimes those are real tough decisions that we all spend a lot of time working on. And then my biggest thing is trying to relax a little bit more in the off season, because I've learned how long of a grind the season is and how long it goes and how much you got to get up for each week. And I really try to get mentally stronger with books and some self-help type things. So when you go into the season, you're ready to go.
Better man than I am. I'm not reading any books in the off season.
Yeah.
I don't even have an off season.
I was going to say, you're not even reading any books,
got time
right?
for books, man. I'm reading all the internet stuff.
Yeah, even on vacation. I think I read this year. I might have read 2 or 3 books, which is a big year for me.
Good for you.
Yeah, it's a good year for books.
You're up by you said about 2.5 books.
Yeah, somewhere in there.
That's 2.5 more than I read this year.
Well, I mean, there have been years like stacking zeros on top of each other.
Just I wish this one of those things. I wish that was more me. I'm jealous, not jealous, but you get a little feeling some kind of way when people are like, "Yeah, we're on vacation. I'm going to take my book out to the pool." I'm like, oh my gosh, I'd rather slap myself in the face.
Really?
Oh.
Because that's one thing that I do love to do.
No.
Like, give me a 5-day tropical and, 1 round of golf, sure.
Yes.
Maybe play 36 and spend the day.
Or 5. But anyway, go ahead. Yeah.
But a lot of time I will go lounge chair and a book. I'm into it. Grab a nap.
I want to go
read
in the
a couple
pool.
chapters.
I don't want to be by the pool. I'm in the pool.
It's a rotation sensation.
Okay.
It's cocktails, it's book, it's nap, it's swim, and then repeat.
I agree with all those
on
things
a rotation.
without the book.
Without the book.
Yeah,
I get it. Yeah. You get into a good one, a nice little historical fiction. It's a page turner.
Let's go to A-Bomb in Petaluma.
It's an A-bomb for A-Rod.
Petaluma. What's up, A-Bomb? Don't do the dance.
I have to.
The dance is amazing.
Caller wins.
Only YouTube gets the dance. That one's just for you, YouTube. For anybody out there who thinks we don't pay enough attention to you. What's up, A-Bomb? What are you doing?
I'm driving home from work right now.
Okay.
But I just wanted to say that it kind of drives me a little crazy when Shanahan runs McCaffrey when it seems like it's not an important part of the game, like when they're just kind of winding the clock down and they're just peppering him with too many carries. I mean, I think they just need to conserve him a little more and also give the other guys work behind them.
Yeah, so this is an interesting one, A-Bomb.
Yeah, thank you, Bomb.
I'm glad you brought it up because let's talk this out for a second.
Oh, I can give you the Shanahan answer when you need it.
Well, he already gave it to you.
Yeah.
But what's your answer?
Well, I was going to do my Shanahan.
Go ahead and do it.
Well, I really don't think that there's any carry that's less important than the other ones. I mean, you can talk about carries that aren't as important and stuff, but you get into games and you never know when a game's going to be that important, and a game can be in the balance at any time, and you have a carry, and you've got a guy who's good at carrying it, and so we let him carry it and stuff, and it's basically how we approach it.
We definitely got to get Elijah in there more and do better with our rotation than we did yesterday. That wasn't the plan going in. It just ended up that way, and I got to make sure that doesn't happen.
It's pretty good, dude. It's pretty good.
Appreciate it.
Yeah.
Hey, it's Tiger.
Pretty good impression. Yeah.
He's not wrong. He does have to get Elijah in there, but to A-Rod, the caller from Petaluma's point.
A-Bomb, not A-Rod. That's
Sorry.
not A-Rod. Ow. Ow.
It really
hit me.
It's hard to say when a carry is really important and when it's not. And Kyle will refer you to last year's Detroit game where he pulled the starters and Detroit went bloop, bloop, bloop. Yeah. And they had the ball with a chance to tie it or take the lead.
That's what I mean. This is you're not wrong, A-bomb.
Thank you, Bomb.
However, this is a fine line, and I do point out, I know a lot of people don't like when I point this out, but the hypocrisy of a collective fan base is overwhelming sometimes. Because if you put Eli Mitchell in and he fumbles,
oh God,
what the hell are all of you going to say?
Why aren't you giving it to McCaffrey?
Why the hell you got McCaffrey? He's the highest paid running back in the sport. Why are you messing around? So this is a very fine line for a coach. Now, to have Eli Mitchell have no carries, that seems a little odd, and Kyle admitted that. And McCaffrey and rest, that's a real topic to be discussed for sure. So nobody's wrong here. But I do think that this is not as easy as we make it out to be. They don't fill the box score out before the game. They can't be like, so Christian's going to get 18 carries, and then Eli's going to get 5. We'd like to get Jordan Mason 1. And then go, the whole thing's got to live and breathe. And if they did cough up a lead late, we would crush him for that. And in fact, Kyle Shanahan has been crushed plenty of times for not being able to hold on to leads. So this is such a fine line. Now, I do want to point this out. There's a conversation brewing that Kyle, I listened to this today on Steiny and Goo. I know you texted them. I almost texted them, and then I erased it because sometimes I'm like, just let them do their show. But there's a caller who goes, hey, I can't believe that Kyle admitted that he forgot to put in Eli Mitchell. How the hell do you forget? And I went, when did he say that he forgot? Listen again, because then Guru never.
To me or to actual Kyle? No, real Kyle or fake Kyle?
Well, you could do it if you could, but you got to get all the words right. Do you remember what he said?
No, I didn't have it memorized.
Right. You didn't have it memorized?
Thank you.
I'm mesmerized whenever you imitate Kyle. Take a listen. He didn't say that he forgot.
We definitely got to get Elijah in there more and do better with our rotation than we did yesterday. That wasn't the plan going in. It just ended up that way, and I got to make sure that doesn't happen.
First of all,
I thought he might have, in a previous iteration, said that he forgot. But
I certainly did not hear that.
Honestly, it doesn't matter either way.
The accountability,
he forgot.
Yeah, no, he didn't forget. It just, quote, went that way. And he said, and I did a poor job. Like, there's accountability there. I love it when people, he needs to be accountable, and then he is. And it's like, you're still mad. Like, he's admitting that he went about it the wrong way.
Yeah.
I don't think he's sitting there and just all of a sudden in the fourth quarter went, oh my God, I left my toiletries at the hotel. Oh, and Eli Mitchell. I forgot that he was on the team. No, I don't think that's the way it goes. I will say, I don't know what leads to that. We had this talk yesterday. I would have loved to ask a follow-up. Kyle, how does that happen? Like, what is the process of how guys get subbed in and subbed out? But I smell something that is going to become a thing this year, and I do wonder what is the right way to go about it. If Christian McCaffrey has 18 touches instead of 23, it's not like he's protected. That doesn't mean he's not going to get hurt because he only touched it 18 times instead of 23. Ask Nick Chubb, okay?
Right.
He's one carry.
Kyle, McCaffrey's averaging 24 touches a game.
Yes.
Which puts him on pace for 408, which would be more than his career high, which in a season was 403 back in 2019. He had 18 carries a game. He caught 116 passes, and the next 2 years were injury-plagued. Now, you can't say it's because he had that many touches and carries, but we do know this. Every time you're on the field, you're more likely to get hurt than when you're on the sideline. So if he's getting all these additional plays and all these additional touches, the likelihood of him getting hurt goes up.
Ask Nick Bosa if you can get hurt on the sideline.
I mean, that was a weird one.
That was a weird one.
He got leg whipped.
I want to be clear. I'm in agreement. Like, Christian McCaffrey, whether it's load management, just keeping Eli fresh. Eli's a good player. Like, yeah, you want to get everybody involved here. I just know that this feels like such a slippery slope. We're setting it up. You got to rest Christian more. Rest. And then he's out at the wrong time. People are like, why isn't Christian in there? Very fine line. Very, very fine line. No doubt they need to do it differently than they did Sunday, and he was obviously the first one to say that.
Eli's got 5 carries on the year, and Debo's got 7.
Okay.
And that's it. Brock's got 6, and Darnold has 2, and I believe those were both kneel downs. So
yeah, there's nothing from Mason. There's nothing from TDP.
Nothing.
So far.
I mean, you've had a little bit of Debo.
Yeah.
And 5 carries for Eli through 2, that's not that many.